Hello, everyone. The band Gorgasm has announced that they are going to be putting out a new record this year. And if you're familiar with the band, as I am, you're probably asking yourself the same question: can this band exist in today's climate? And it's a tough question to answer. I think we could all agree that society has changed for the better within the last 5, 10 years. And a lot of the things that we have collectively decided are problematic are quickly being expunged from society, and that makes us all the better for it. It's always a good thing to negate and bury anything negative in the world, and just to try to formulate a fake existence of rainbows and just a nice happy place where you can ignore all that reality has to offer, which is something metal's always been about. So things are getting better in the long run. But what I wanted to talk about here is this band has, if you come to this channel, you probably are expecting a little bit more highbrow content. And I do come off as someone that appreciates it when it's smart, but I do like it when it's dumb. And this band definitely advertises their dumbness front and center here. But I think that we could all agree that this is not okay. And it wasn't okay in 1998. It's not okay now. It's extra not okay now. But what is this image telling us? A lot of people might misconstrue the intent of a band like Gorgasm. Uh, and I think that there's a lot more going on beneath the surface with this band. If you were to pay close attention to them, you'll see that the suffocation style is often interrupted quite seamlessly by nice hints of melody here and there that have a good duality to it. And there's a lot more to listen for in a band like this than what a lot of other brutal death metal bands are. But is there more to the image? Is there more to the outward appearance of the band? And I would say the answer is yes. And if you want to go all the way back to what inspired a lot of these current death metal bands, it's a trope that existed all the way back to all the old horror movies of the 70s and 80s, which always had a final girl. Yes, they did have a usually male serial killer preying on women. And it always wound up that there was a final girl that overcame the odds. And the reason for that is the movies were always trying to tell us that male brute force and strength is easily overcome by female cunningness. And that is something that might be hard to interpret as you watch a movie where they quickly get disposed until there's one left. But it's always been there. And the reason that the movies existed as they did is because the female form had always been wrongly attributed to weakness. We've always thought that men were strong and women were weak. They can't defend themselves as well as men, so of course they're going to get preyed upon. And metal has always been a celebration of strength over weakness. But what is strength? What kinds of strength are there? There's a lot more to it than just brute force. And I think that that is the intelligence level that a band like Gorgasm here has to offer. Despite that you might look at some of their song titles like Lesbian Stool Orgy and Dirty Cunt Beatdown, you might have a different idea of where they're at, but they definitely are way more cognizant of societal issues than they let off. But while we're talking about societal issues, given that it is getting all the more difficult to define what a woman is, if your outward stance and image is based on violence towards women, how can you really continue to exist as a band? It's got to be they have to be undergoing a bit of an identity crisis here. And while we're talking about whether or not women can defend themselves and get in a situation like this, I think that we now know that we were wrong about the female gender the whole time. And all ladies now are strong, independent women that don't need no men. And all the more power to them. And they have proven within the last 5 to 10 years that all women can do everything that men can do, except be accountable for anything. And all men, if they wanted to, could turn into women and do anything that women can do. So if there is now this vagary between what men are, what women are, how do you really come to this conclusion? And how do you let this still be what the band is branded upon? They're going to need to have quite a bit of change in their dynamic and how they operate and how they think. And we've all undergone that same kind of development this year and in the last 5, 10 years, and we're all the better for it. And I really do wish that Gorgasm will come to the same conclusion on their next record. I think it will be a shame if they operate with the same level of misogyny that you can see if you're looking for it in their previous works in their catalog. But they're smart guys. I think they're gonna understand the right side of history that we are now on, and I do believe that their music is going to follow suit. So be on the lookout for a huge change coming from the band Gorgasm in 2024, and I'm definitely here for it. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening.